I'm Johnny Rowland, your host of our shooting show. We certainly want to welcome you to today's program. Friends, we feel like this is such an important project because it's our job to educate more Americans as to how to properly handle these guns, whatever it is, from a semi-automatic carbine like this Colt AR-15. Notice I did not say an assault rifle, because guess what? This is not an assault rifle. It is not selective fire. It is a semi-automatic .223 Remington caliber carbine made by Colt. Yet the people who want to take these guns away use every opportunity to change the language, to literally to lie, to call things that they aren't. President Clinton, instead of using the word tax, he started calling it contribution instead of the word tax. So what these folks want to do, militia is not a bad word. Militia is not an ugly word at all. Yet the folks in the major media and some of these politicians have gone to using militia as some sort of evil. Well, you know what, friends? I don't think that our founding fathers of our country would have put an evil word in our Constitution where the militia is provided for. It's mentioned in the Constitution. Today, if somebody belongs to what they call a militia group, well, they're vilified in the press, and they say, oh my, we couldn't be. Heck, I've been accused of being a militia leader. Well, if I was, trust me on this one, if I had a militia, they'd be out here at work. And they'd be on the phones calling people. Unfortunately, I don't have a militia. I'm not even a member. All of us as citizens are members of the unorganized militia. It used to be men over around 15 years of age, boys, to adults there up to about 65 years of age, able-bodied men who were automatically part of the unorganized militia. I mean, that's just the way it's been. Yet these folks want to change the language, and that's why we're here. We want to straighten some things out, friends. I talked to someone a couple of days ago, and he felt like that our fight was over. Let me tell you what. It's not over as long as you're watching us here on television, as long as you listen to our radio shows, as long as we can still get pro-gun information, and hey, we still have them. We still do. And it's our job to educate more people so we can keep our firearms, whether it's this semi-automatic rifle or this revolver or whatever else, so we can retain our rights as Americans. As we speak, we are losing our rights. But there's some good people out there who are trying to fight the good fight. Congressman Ron Paul, Helen Chenoweth, Bob Barr from Georgia, a lot of good people are out there. They just need our support, and yes, us here on the shooting show. Friends, if you want to do something, so many people say, what can I do? I'm just one person. Guess what? You can sit down and you can write a check to the shooting show. You can join our support group. You can donate any amount of money you can possibly part with. You can join our support group and advertise on our shooting show. You can charge it off. You can deduct it on your taxes. If you have any kind of business, it can be a business expense, a business deduction, so it won't wind up costing you, and you can do something about keeping proper information about firearms, about gun ownership, and yes, about legislation that is pending here on television. We keep this information here on television. Friends, if you would like to help us stay on the air, and we're here today because of your contributions. Just remember, not that many people will. Our programming literally reaches millions of households all over the United States. Not all of them watch, of course, but a very small percentage of people will contribute toward keeping us on the air. Will you join us in helping to keep this project running? If you can, please send whatever you can to the shooting show, 327 Irvin Rowland Road in Dubberly, Louisiana. The zip code is 71024. If you want to call us about advertising, about doing something to help the project, you can. Our phone number is area 318-377-5189. Because you know what? That's how we're here today. When we got torpedoed on the Outhouse channel, hey, and yours truly ran out of money, guess what, friends? We went to you, and our audience came through for us, and you have been. And certainly we have some great sponsors here on the program. We need to do more because we need to expand our program. We're very excited about the new gun web situation on the internet, a gun magazine on the internet, and we anticipate doing some work with them. We're also very pleased about the new Dan Wesson company. They're coming back up, and we're excited. They're gonna make some guns. They're gonna have the shooting show on the side of the barrel, and I think this is really exciting. We're not there yet, but in the coming weeks we will. We'll announce. In fact, you know, some of the people that watch our program, they'll see this black rifle here. They'll say, "Oh, that's a bad gun. Ooh, ooh, it's black." So what? It's cheaper to make. It's a military style weapon, and it's cheaper to make. The composition forearm here, forend, the black stock, it's rugged. You can drop it and it won't scar. It won't. You can leave it out in the rain and it won't warp. You know, it's cheaper to make. It's more efficient. What's wrong with that? But the folks that don't know much about guns see this as a very scary thing. That's why we're here. Well, you know, we're going to start today's program. We have a great show for you. We're going back, and we have, of course, some more SHOT Show footage. We appreciate all your comments and letters about the SHOT Show. To tell you the truth, I didn't think or didn't realize just what a big deal the SHOT Show was to so many of you seeing different things. I'm glad we went. Now, certainly we saw a lot of old friends, and we will have a little more footage on the SHOT Show, simply because so many of you have asked for it. We had some things we didn't get to last week anyway. We have a couple of features we're going to do on guns on the show today, shooting. Hopefully we're going to get to a lot of stuff on today's program. We are so glad that you joined us. Remember our gospel show on Sunday morning. Write this down if you'd like to get on our little group there that meets on Sunday morning. We're Salt Christian Fellowship. You can watch our gospel show on G4 channel 14 from 10 until 10:30 Eastern time on Sunday morning. And please remember our radio show on the American Freedom Network. It comes on from noon until 2 o'clock Eastern time on Sunday. And you might want to write this down. It's on GE1, Channel 7, 5.8 audio. And I'll tell you what, we had Bob Server, the new president of Dan Wesson, on this past week. We also had our good friend Art Alphin, who just stated his case, and we appreciate your response about Art, because let me tell you what, friends, we have some cowboy agencies and some cowboy agents in some of the government agents or agencies that really don't think they have to answer to anybody. Well, they're wrong. They're supposed to be working for us, the American people, not persecuting us, the American people. Isn't that the truth? Well, let's begin a shooting show. In fact, let's don't shoot the rifle. We've got some water bottles out here at two different ranges, 100 yards, 200 yards over there. And as I said, the Dan Wesson company is back up and running, and it's great. They have a lot of new equipment. We're looking forward to some super quality products out of Dan Wesson, and let me tell you what, they sure made some in the past. Heather, come in and let me swap guns with you there, please, dear, if you would. Great, friends, this is one of our shooting show guns. You'll recognize my lovely wife, Heather, and it's great to have these women involved, friends. Let me tell you what, these women can shoot these guns. They just need to be given an opportunity. But this is one of our shooting show guns. Darling, would you take that, please, the AR? And these were great shooters made by the older Dan Wesson company. And let me tell you what, if you have an older Dan Wesson gun, the folks there in Norwich, New York, the new Dan Wesson company, if you have a problem, they can work on them. They can fix them. So we're really pleased about that. We will have some exciting things. They're supposed to come and have a shooting demo, have guns available to shoot at our Fun Gun Weekend. We'll remind you now, it's going to be on May 16th and 17th here in Louisiana at Clark Custom Guns. They're here in Princeton, just down the road from us here in Louisiana. Again, May 16 and 17. That's Saturday and Sunday, the weekend after Mother's Day. And Bob said that they're going to have some guns on hand so you can come up and shoot these great Dan Wesson guns. It is exciting because they have some tremendous models, and we're developing some new stuff. They're going to have some new stuff that we can't talk about just yet, but trust me on this one. Between these good folks and our friends at Georgia Arms are going to have some great new developments that we're really excited about. So guess what, friends? We got to stay on the air. Heck, we have to. We have to stay on the air. Please help if you can. Let's get a shooting show underway with this great shooting show, Dan Wesson and 41 Magnum, a 4-inch barrel. Let's see how it does. Okay. It's only 100 yards. This is the Dan Wesson. Let's move out to 200. You know, years ago, I shot this as number 3 right here, serial number 3. Shot it at 175 yards, and people were pretty amazed using this by Mr. Average here, Mr. Average Shooter, a 4-inch revolver at 175. Well, let's push it on out to 200 and see how that looks. Yeah, friends, it is a Dan Wesson, and yeah, they do shoot good. And I tell you what, friends, I'm going to let my wife shoot the Dan Wesson at that disc at 100 yards, which is not just that easily done.
Stay tuned for more of the Shootin' Show after these important messages.
The Shootin' Show will be right back after this break for your local cable company or TV station. You know, friends, all of us as shooting enthusiasts should be subscribing to Shotgun News, the trading post for anything that shoots. 3 big issues monthly with literally thousands and thousands of firearms bargains. Give them a call, 1-800-345-6923, a very inexpensive subscription price. Again, 1-800-345-6923. Subscribe today. Now, friends, here it is. This is the great 1919 Browning converted to semi-automatic from the good people at NWI. This is your chance to own a real piece of history. They're very collectible. They're also a lot of fun to own and shoot, and very reasonably priced, certainly for what you get. The 1919 Browning is from NWI. That phone number, area 503-429-5001. They also have the ammunition special still going on. 30-06 ammunition, only 18 cents a round, surplus in the belt. So give them a call today. NWI for the great 1919 Browning conversion. Also remember, they have the A6 conversion with the shoulder stock and the bipod, but these are tremendous pieces of history, also great shooters. So give them a call today, the 1919 Browning from NWI, area 503-429-5001.
And friends, I want to remind you now the 50 Browning version of the machine gun converted to semi-automatic is available. Tim also has some super good prices on 50 Browning ammunition. These are really reasonably priced guns, whether you want the 30-06 model as shown here, or the A6, or in fact the 50 Browning M2 model. Give them a call out there at area 503-429-5001, and please, friends, tell them you saw it here on our program.
Now, friends, we want to do a short piece here that could be, in fact, it could save somebody's life. It could prevent an accident. You know what? We're always concerned, we always say we never point a gun at anything that we can't afford to destroy, whatever it may be. You know, you don't take a baseball bat, you don't threaten somebody, you don't talk to somebody about, you don't do that to someone with a baseball bat. Certainly not. That's ridiculous. If you're showing a knife to someone, whether it's a butcher knife or this Recon Tanto from our friends at Advantage Outlet, you don't say, here, look at this. Yeah, here. You don't do that. That's ignorant. So why in the world would you do that with a gun? See? It doesn't make sense at all. You don't do that with a gun. You don't do it with a knife or a baseball bat. What in the world would somebody want to do it with a gun? You don't take out one of these Vaquero folders, again from our good friends at Cold Steel from Advantage Outlet. You know, you can get these knives at discount prices. You don't unfold this knife and say, here. You don't do that. You simply don't do it. Why in the world would somebody pretend to have fun with a gun by pointing it at somebody else? That's a no-no. It is absolutely, and we've got to educate children. You know what? A lot of school districts around the country will not even let you talk about gun safety. It's because these, and I'm looking for the right word, I'm trying to, this is TV. It's these people who want to take our guns away, don't want to encourage gun safety because they figure, well, it's just sacrificing somebody's life to get them all away. Now, this is their stupid mentality. They don't care about your children's lives or mine or anything else. They just care about disarming us. So yeah, if it takes a few more people being hurt, a few more people being injured or killed, they're willing to do that. Guess what? We as gun owners and responsible Americans are not willing to do that. So let's talk a minute about gun safety. We have a 1911 here, and you may find this gun in a state of cocked and locked, or you may find it with hammered down. And so many children, and adults too for that matter, they watch the ludicrous gun handling on television. They say, hey, we've got magazines out, and then they start waving it around. Well, guess what? The gun still had one in the chamber. They forgot to check the chamber. They absolutely just forgot, all right? And then someone's hurt or injured. There is no excuse for it. And just because on a semi-automatic, we take the magazine out, then we check the chamber 3 times. Don't check it with the magazine in it because you'll load it. If you took the, in fact, let's rerun that particular drill because this is really important. You can have a loaded magazine with a semi-automatic. Check the chamber. There's not one in the chamber. Let it go. Guess what? It's loaded. So always drop the magazine out and then check the chamber. If you have a Glock, you see how I put my hand over to catch the bullet. If you have a Glock, don't do that. On a Glock, you unload it by just pulling the slide back. Let the bullet fall out on the ground because the Glock ejector could possibly hit the primer if you do it like so, like we're used to unloading 1911s and checking the bullet. Here's how to unload a Glock. Just pull the chamber back, or pull the slide back with the ammunition, the magazine out of it. Let the bullet go on the floor. Don't do this, because if you did it real hard, you could eject literally the unfired cartridge case. You could hit the ejector with the primer on the bullet, and guess what? That thing has gone off in your hand. You know what I'm saying? So, just a little safety tip. We check them 3 times. 1, to be sure there's nothing in the chamber. 2, to double check. And 3, to be sure I was right what I saw the other times. On a semi-automatic rifle, same drill. You can take the magazine out. Some people would think that the gun is now not capable of being fired. Watch. We've got the magazine out now, but there's one in that chamber. These are mistakes that we cannot afford to make. We need to take the magazine out, then check the chamber. And again, I check them 3 times, no exception. On a tubular magazine shotgun like this Mossberg, a lot of people leave shells in the magazine, and I've known people, and heck, I've done it, left them for months at a time without taking them out. And sometimes your magazine spring in any of these guns can become weakened. And yeah, I've had it happen. So maybe when you pull the bolt open there to check, you didn't see anything, and you saw the chamber empty, and maybe you overlooked that one in the magazine. Maybe you didn't pull it back far enough for it to come out of the magazine. Then you hand it to somebody, they go, "Boy, isn't this great?" Oh, well, guess what? It had one there. So again, same drill. We check the chamber and we check the magazine tube 3 times. 1, 2, 3. We have to be as safe as we possibly can. And remember, we never, even on revolvers, I'll take the cylinder out, 1, 2, 3. I'll check them 3 times to be sure that there's nothing in that chamber, especially if you're showing the gun to somebody. My goodness, we need to be as careful as can. And we've got to tell these children, say, wait a minute, if there's a gun present, if you go to somebody's house and a kid picks up a gun, say, no, got to have adults around, no, and get away, because unsupervised children should not be allowed in our society today, where children have not had very much firearms training. That's a scenario we don't want. Is kids having guns, playing by themselves? Absolutely not, because they've been watching, guess what, too much television, and they see the ludicrous gun handling on TV. We want to prevent every accident we possibly can, and just some things that heck, we might save somebody's life or certainly prevent an accident. And never, ever, never point the gun at the family dog or cat or anything else that we can't afford to lose. Very important. Well, friends, we're going to look at one of the very best small guns, certainly that I'm aware of today. This is a new Smith & Wesson Model 19. You'll notice it has the Uncle Mike's grips, which some of these guns are coming with now. They're very comfortable. They're rubber. It's a harder rubber, but it still has finger grooves. It is very comfortable. We know this gun's unloaded, but as a concealed carry gun, a lot of people around the country now are, in fact, some of them call me and say, well, what kind of gun do you recommend for concealed carry? If, in fact, you can handle the .357 Magnum, the Model 19 is one of your absolute best choices. And of course, this one is in blued steel, and trust me on this one, friends, I don't mind buying a blued steel gun, because our fluid film here literally turns blued steel into darn near stainless. It protects better than anything we've seen. I'll do our fluid film mention now. We sell the 2 large cans of fluid film for $19.95. That includes shipping and handling. This is just a small can here, but 2 of the large cans. It is absolutely fantastic. You can use it on your guns, you can use it on your electronic connectors, you can use it on leather. It's the darndest thing I've ever seen. Your battery terminals, the doors on your house, the doors on your car. Honestly, we've never seen anything like it, and it'll be there when you come back sometime later on. Unlike most of the spray lubricants out there, this stuff is in a class by itself. You can get the fluid film from us here on the program, the Shooting Show, 327 Irvin Rowland Road in Dubberly, Louisiana. That zip code is 71024. This is great stuff. You will not be disappointed. Let me mention, if you have something rusty that you spray this on, it literally attacks the rust. It will eat the rust. It'll go on through the rust and go down to the metal, so it'll stop it. And you can go back a little while later and you'll see where you put this on top of rust. You can wipe it away. And certainly if you have rust in your gun somewhere, go back and wipe it down later, because it literally will go after the rust. It is remarkable stuff. The Model 19 is, of course, was a recommendation of our friend Bill Jordan, and we want to remind you that Bill Jordan, we lost him this past fall, but certainly one of the most knowledgeable people, one of the most skilled and knowledgeable shooters that I've ever had the opportunity to meet. He was a very fine person, but he knew more about guns than most of the rest of us will ever know, and he suggested the Model 19 to the folks there at Smith & Wesson. The 38 Special was in the loads that they had in the early 50s, was just not an effective load. Of course, a lot of police officers were shooting the 158 grain round nose lead bullet, almost zero shocking power. Now if you hit someone in the right spot, of course about anything will work. 22 will work fairly well in the right spot, but it just didn't have enough shocking power. So they wanted, since police officers don't shoot their guns nearly as much as they carry them, they wanted something that was light, that was reliable. So they went back and lengthened the cylinder on the 38 Special on the essentially Model 10 or Model 15, and came with some different heat treat steel in the cylinder, as I understand it, and made it a 357 Magnum. Now the Model 19 is a light frame gun, say compared to an L frame or Ruger GP100. But that in itself is one of the beauty parts about the Model 19, because it is very carryable. These guns tend to be super accurate, and for their intended purpose, they're meant to be shot most of the time, say with 38 Specials, which have a much lower pressure, and then on duty you could practice with the gun using 38 Specials. We'll go ahead and shoot it a time or two. Again, 38 Special, mild recoil, see, just very, very mild. And when you needed it or on duty, you could carry the full charge 357 Magnum. Now, no, in your average Model 19, no, a full charge 357 is not a lot of fun to shoot, but you don't have to. You can shoot the much milder 38 Special ammunition for practice and learn to be familiar with the gun, load the gun, how the gun operates, and then for carrying, because honestly, if you're in a life-threatening situation, you're not going to notice the noise and recoil nearly as much. In fact, the folks that I've talked to that have been in gunfight situations, many times they say the noise sounded like a popping sensation somewhere way off, because of psychologically your adrenaline's pumping, your physical rush is on, so the recoil and the noise at that time is not going to be nearly as bothersome. These are superior guns. You can see it is close in size to the Ruger SP101, darn near the same size gun as the 5-shot Ruger SP101 with a 3-inch barrel. This Model 19 has a 2.5-inch barrel. But of course the Model 19 has very fine adjustable sights, and you wouldn't believe how well or how accurately that a lot of these guns will shoot. They're remarkable in what their accuracy level. And it's a little heavier, not much, than the 5-shot Ruger SP101, but you do have the advantage of your 6th shot there. In fact, of course, your standard speed loaders for your K-frame Smith & Wesson will fit the Model 19, which is certainly a plus because they're everywhere out there.
The Shootin' Show will be right back after this break for your local cable company or TV station.
Friends, here it is, the great Georgia Arms ammunition. Notice these ballistic tip nodular bullets in this Georgia Arms ammunition. You see, this is equivalent to a box of 20 for only $7.95. Now, friends, that is a terrific price for essentially custom-loaded ammunition. Of course, for the plain full metal jacket, it is much less expensive. Here's another tremendous bag of Georgia Arms ammunition, 7mm Remington Magnum, 20 rounds, only $17.95, loaded with these premium Nosler ballistic tips. I tell you, this is custom ammunition at a discount price. Hey, what, friends, the good people at Georgia Arms do understand what's going on in this country. They understand how important our gun rights are, and they're supporting us on this project. The good news is you can get absolutely superior ammunition at discount prices, whether you have a handgun or a rifle. If you want to take that big hunt, you can afford to practice with your rifle as well as use that same ammunition on the hunt because they are so reasonably priced. These are some of the nicest people we have ever met in this business, bar none, and they're down in beautiful Villa Rica, Georgia. So please, friends, if you would, you can get a free catalog with a free phone call. That's as good as the deal gets. A free catalog, free phone call, 1-800-624-6861. Again, Georgia Arms, 1-800-624-6861. And please tell them you saw it here on our shooting show.
And friends, I want to remind you the 41 Magnum Defense Special ammunition from Georgia Arms is now available. They are shipping, so give them a call, 1-800-624-6861. Again, the 41 Magnum Defense Special, it's a powerful loading, but it won't hurt your hand in a 4-inch barrel Model 57 Smith & Wesson. Anyway, I think you'll be very pleased with it. Give it a try. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we hope you're enjoying our program today. We're so pleased indeed to be with you. Recognize my good friend Leroy Scott here, the good judge of our shooting show. And Judge, tell me, what in the world is this? What is that?
That is a million cannon power light. It's bright enough to put somebody's eyes out.
Well,
as an intruder in the house, it's also bright enough to locate your animals in your yard and so forth.
Boy, now wait,
that's why I got it.
You gonna loan that to me so we can do a night shooting piece? Heck, you wouldn't have to worry about anybody shooting back at you. You'd blind them.
Well, it'll do it. These people sold it to me for some very reasonable price. I've forgotten what it was. Shooting show price. And their telephone number is 814-833-6487. They're in Erie, Pennsylvania. Y'all need to
They're Electro Science is who they are. Electro Science Company.
Electro Science Incorporated. And you need to get in touch with them and ask them why they don't advertise on our show, that looks like they've got a pretty good product, and you might consider buying it if they were advertised on the show.
Well, I'm certainly impressed. Well, friends, here we are again, and we are indeed so thankful to be here. We have a number of things to cover today. Certainly, we have another busy program. It seems like our shooting show is always busy. I want to remind you, again, if you can make it, let's start planning now for May 16 and 17. It's going to be a pretty big deal here at Clark Custom Guns, just right down the road from where we are here in Shreveport today as we're editing for our Fun Gun Weekend. This is going to be a major event. The judge and I will be out there walking around, meeting and visiting with as many of you as possible, but we're going to have all kinds of shooting events going on. Of course, Earlene Mandrell, her husband Rob, are going to come back for it. Our friends with the Dan Wesson Gun Company are supposed to come down and let people shoot their guns. I'm thinking, as we speak now, I think the Smith & Wesson people are going to be there, but having the Dan Wesson folks there and a bunch of maybe big Magnum guns, and ought to be fun, huh, Judge?
Well, at the Dan Wesson people show, it might be an encouragement for Smith & Wesson to show up too.
Well, it could be, but it's going to be a great event, friends. We will have barbecue again from the folks that had it last year. Those of you that were here remember how good it was. A number of shooting exhibitions. We're going to have some silhouette shooting going on, cowboy action shooting. If you'd like to compete in some of these disciplines, you can call ahead or you can bring your stuff. We're really looking for another great time. Don't know if we can find that fast draw guy to come back. That was pretty spectacular, wasn't it, Judge? Remember the fast draw guy from last year? He just showed up. I didn't know he was coming.
I didn't know he would come in either. I don't really distinctly remember him because I wasn't there at the time.
Okay, well, you were somewhere else on location there, but the old boy said he drew his gun and shot it, and he said, "You want to see it again?" I said, "I didn't see it the first time." That's true. But certainly we would encourage you, if at all possible, to come down and join us. That's the weekend after Mother's Day, and I talked to some folks there at Sierra Bullets yesterday and invited them down. We have contacted Bill Wilson's outfit up there, IDPA, and they're going to try and send somebody down to do some IDPA shooting and let some of the folks have a chance to go through that discipline. I think it's going to be great. So again, that's May 16 and 17. We have a couple of things here that we talked about on the program recently, and I have been telling people for several years. They told us about these strange-looking prison camps that are scattered across the country, and I said, you know, if somebody will send us some pictures, we would put it on the program, and let's do that. Sir, you want to hold this up? Friends, this is an 8x10 picture of an obvious prison camp. This is the one that some folks sent to us in the DeSoto National Forest down in southern Mississippi. And there's another picture, and you can see the guard tower or the machine gun tower. This is a gigantic thing. It's about a mile long and a quarter of a mile wide, and nobody seems to know just what this is about.
It seems to be abandoned. The road to it is says no vehicles allowed, and I would think that Senator Lott from Mississippi ought to be able to find out what that place is.
You know, that's a good idea. We ought to call Trent Lott, shouldn't we? Somebody ought to try and get hold of him and find out because nobody knows what this is. You know, it has been rumored now for several years that some of the New World Order folks were building internment camps to put us as gun owners, people that didn't go along with their New World Order model citizen specifications, Judge. I don't know. I mean, friends, we're not spreading alarm, but we are spreading concern. We flatly do not know what these are about.
Well, Johnny, there's obviously a lot of money that's been spent here.
Oh, gosh, yes.
I'd like to know whose appropriation did it come out of, and what was the explanation of it at the time?
Well, and the bad news is there are a number of other of these same locations or similar locations around the country. I mean, is this FEMA? Someone said, well, maybe it's for prisoners of war. Well, who are we going to bring over here and put in camps like that? You going to bring Saddam's people? I don't think so, you know.
No, they're not going to come over here.
You know, are we planning a massive war against who are we going to fight? We're going to bring back hundreds of thousands of prisoners. That doesn't make any sense at all, does it?
Not to me, it doesn't, Johnny.
Well, but there are hundreds of thousands of patriotic Americans who are not going to go along with this New World Order thing, friends. And so, yes, we want to know what this is about. We sure do. We've been hearing about these places for years, and of course, these photographs are pretty doggone graphic.
Well, they can't put everybody in prison.
Well, it'd be hard, wouldn't it?
There wouldn't be anybody to be guards. There wouldn't be anybody to work and feed them.
Well, we're just very concerned.
Maybe they're not very much concerned about feeding them.
Well, maybe not. I don't know. But, you know, we are concerned about the New World Order, what they have in mind for us as Americans and certainly as gun owners. We know, friends, that today, as we speak, we're losing our battle to retain our gun rights. That's why we're trying so hard to stay on television, because you know what can defeat plans like this here? You know what can win? Is educating more Americans about what's going on behind the scenes, what's happening.
One thing that they did discover, and that is this place is abandoned.
For now?
It's empty. There's nobody around it. There's nobody guarding it. Apparently it's just got locks on the gates.
Brand new facility.
And a brand new facility. So what's it for?
Well, we would like to know, friends. You know, these are strange times we live in. As we speak, this is Thursday as we're editing this program before the first airing on Sunday. Some of you cable viewers will see it a week from Sunday within that 7-day period there. And as we speak, we don't know what Clinton's going to do with Saddam or anything else. What?
Incidentally, Johnny, I gave you that lady's name last week. who was running in the 12th district of Illinois. Yeah. Do you remember her name?
No, sir, I don't. No, sir, it's about a whole week ago.
Did you mention it on the
I
show?
didn't have a chance to. We had already put the show down.
Well, anyhow, I found out it was the 12th district of Illinois, and the people at Gun Owners of America have put her in the same category as my very much admired Helen Chenoweth and Ron Paul.
Okay, and let's do this now. If you would like to have information on any candidate who is running as far as where they stand, let's give out Gun Owners of America's phone number. It's area 703-321-8585.
Yeah, that is, you did pretty good.
Yeah, area 703-321-8585, Gun Owners of America. And give them a call and find out if you've got a candidate you're concerned about. I also want to mention, this is important too, Bob Dornan's race is over. The House decided not to contest the election. You know, Bob Dornan has felt like he had that election stolen from him out there. And they found about 750 or so votes that were fraudulent. They did, but the margin was like 900 and something.
Well, that was just the fraudulent votes that they found.
That they found.
Now, as it develops, we're now close enough to the elections for this term where it really doesn't make much difference, because he says he's going to run again.
Mm-hmm. Well, but friends, those of you who wonder if your vote really counts, realize that election, and Bob Dornan, he's on our side, that election was decided by 150 votes. See, a congressional election, 150 votes. Heck, that could just be the people in your neighborhood, 150 people. So yes, those votes do count, don't they, Judge?
Well, what was the story? They said that they hoped when they died that they got buried somewhere. I've forgotten where it is, because they could still vote.
Well, unfortunately, in too many places that's true. It certainly has been true. Lyndon Johnson was a great believer in dead people voting, wasn't he?
Well, Lyndon Johnson, in his race for the Senate, absolutely stole that race. Mm-hmm. And if you don't believe it, get a copy of the book, A Texan Looks at Lyndon. And if you don't believe it beforehand, you'll sure believe it then.
Good point. You know, I was talking to someone yesterday in our industry talking about how the liberal left and the ultra-liberal anti-gun people, they really know how to work public relations, and our own people, the conservatives, conservative by nature, simply have been really bludgeoned over the head in public relations. That's what we're doing here today, friends. You know what? So many of you feel like, well, I can't do anything about it. It's out of my control. We can do something. You can sit in the comfort of your own home. You can sit down and write a check to help us stay on the air. The Shooting Show, 327 Irvin Rowlands Road in Dubberly, Louisiana. That zip code is 71024. If you can help sponsor our show, if you can join our support group, which is very important to us, if you can.
We get these people to advertise.
Sure, get the light people on. But friends, this is something you can deduct as part of your normal business expense. And honestly, friends, this has to be done. It's not over with because you're watching us on television today. This fight's not over. You know, and there are a lot of us out here. If we could just find each other and become a little better organized and certainly get the information out. But friends, if you want to see us continue on television, please send whatever you can. If it's $5, if it's $50, if it's $500 or $5,000. No one has sent $5,000, by the way, but they might. Friends, please, if you can, help us.
You got a $1,200 donation one.
Yes, we have. We've had a couple, and it kept us on there. We've had in times past, someone was generous enough to give us a couple of $1,000s at one time, and here's the reason why. Most of the folks watching, most of you out there, won't contribute anything, but those few folks have contributed enough. We've had $25 donations. Believe me, those 10 and 20 donations are very important because we put them together. You know, we've had a couple of larger checks come at times when there weren't any small checks, and then we had some small checks come when there weren't any larger ones. We appreciate it all. Friends, if you can, please help us. Any comment, more comment for today, sir?
No, I don't guess so, Johnny, but I have been able to understand how Baker, what's his name, Jimmy Baker, was that his name? Tammy Faye.
Tammy Faye.
I don't understand how he was able to collect millions of dollars.
Well, Judge, they did that by really going on people's emotions, and they did it in the name of the Lord. And
I could get pretty emotional about this thing myself, and certainly I think it's in the name of the Lord. I think it's in the name
of freedom,
of freedom and good government. And I don't know how the Lord thinks, because I'm not privy to that, but I know that freedom is fleeting, and far between periods when people are not free are longer and more tyrannical than brief periods of time when they are free. And that's why everybody wants to come to the United States. I don't see people in the United States wanting to leave.
That's an awfully good point, Judge.
And well, any of them that want to leave, I'd be glad to help pay their way out. But that's not the way it is. They all want to come here.
And that's because of what we were granted by our Constitution, by our Founding Fathers, the plan that they had in mind. So, friends, please do what you can, because we're in this fight, and we're not going to let it go. We're going to go on as long as is humanly possible. So we do ask for your help.
Stay tuned for more of The Shootin' Show after these important messages.
The Shootin' Show will be right back after this break for your local cable company or TV station.
And friends, we sure want to mention the good folks at Advantage Outlet that have a full line of cold steel and Spyderco knives at discount prices. You can give them a call, 1-800-561-1719. Again, 1-800-561-1719. Or you can find them on the internet, www.advantage-outlet.com/knives. Again, these are discount prices, which is not seen very often, on cold steel and on Spyderco knives. And a lot of us would really enjoy having some of these great cutting instruments.
Hello, I'm here at the Kimber Custom Shop, and we have a couple examples here of things that we can do for customers that would like one. For example, here is a custom finished gun, one of our compact models with a Robar Polymax finish.
Hold up, Richard. Wouldn't we say this gun's more for the ladies, that color?
Well, we could say that it's more for the ladies, but there's been an awful lot of interest from the gentlemen as well. This model right here is also a compact, and it has a special meltdown version. It's just as smooth and as slick from one end to the other as you can imagine. It would never possibly stick to any holster. And then if we want to go just a little bit more on the wild side, here's an IPSC type model with ghost ring fire sights, compensator, special grips. You name it, and we can do it.
Richard, it's awfully good to meet you, sir, and appreciate you taking time to visit with us on the show.
Thank you, Johnny. It was good talking to you.
It's not that these ladies are that short, it's that I'm a little taller.
You're
So,
very tall.
well, thank you very much.
And masculine.
Well, see, now, Arlene, you're doing good so far. You're off to a good start. Friends, you'll recognize these two ladies right here. Of course, Arlene Mandrell and Kate Clark Michelik, the great Clark family, married to the fastest revolver. Let's get Jerry in here. Married to the fastest revolver shooter in the world, and all-around nice guy. And we had one of the greatest shooting events, in fact, the greatest shooting event I've ever been to last spring, our Fun Gun Weekend.
I've talked about Fun Gun Weekend to so many people.
It was great, wasn't it?
It was wonderful.
And absolutely, of course, we had great demonstrations by Kay and her brother Jim Jr., and of course her husband Jerry. And friends, we're going to do it again. Absolutely. Arlene and Rob are going to come down. It's write this on your calendar. May 16th and 17th. May 16th and 17th, the Fun Gun Weekend at Clark Custom Guns in beautiful Princeton, suburban Princeton, Louisiana.
We're downtown, Johnny. We're downtown Princeton.
Well, okay, whatever.
Was that downtown where I was? Oh, I
That was downtown, so it's a fairly rural area, but it's easy to find. It's very easy to get to off the interstate.
I didn't see any alligators out there either, so that was good, huh?
Well,
I
didn't look close.
I was closing my eyes too much.
That's true. Louisiana's a little swampy down there, but we had a wonderful time. You and Rob had a great time.
Oh, we had a wonderful time. I had what I call, went out and had some, I call it crawdads, but it's crawfish.
Well, crawfish.
Okay.
Yeah.
I always heard crawdad ho. But
well, that's
yeah.
Yes, and really had a wonderful time. We appreciate you folks' efforts so much, and then of course you're going to be doing some stuff this summer. You want to?
Right. I want to talk about my shotgun shoot, but also I'm going to do the Chevy Team Challenge, and you've done that a lot, Kay. I don't want to go out there and really make you nervous about the competition.
Wasn't there something about a little?
Yeah.
Wasn't there a challenge issued here or something a moment ago? It's some kind of challenge about you're going to be on a team and Kay's going to be on another team.
Yeah, I just don't think it's the same level.
Spot some points, though. We'll see what happens.
Okay.
Well, anyway, so when is this going to be? Later this summer? What?
The last part of April.
Last part of April. So you can actually do this before you come do our bit there in May, right? Team
Yeah.
challenge.
Yes. April, May, yeah.
Well, I hope you're still friendly after
I'm going to try to get Kay to, after we do this, Kay to help advise me, actually. I think so much.
Oh, I'm sure she'll help you, Arlene.
She let me shoot her gun during the Fun Gun Weekend.
That's true. But
she is so awesome to
You're really
watch.
going to get some good advice on this, and you're supposed to do a lot of shooting with your offhand. Am I right on that, Kay, for that deal? And there's a lot more complicated
But what
stuff.
match are we talking? No.
You're offhand.
Well, you wouldn't do that. I know. You'd try and help Arlene.
She doesn't have an offhand. So.
Braggart. Okay. Which
And
really
both of mine are off, so I'm not.
That's true. Both of mine are offhand, so I prove that every week shooting on the program too. Anyway, it's certainly nice to see you folks. Kay, you're having a great show, aren't you?
Yes, enjoying it. Kind of looking forward to going home today, but it's been a good 4 days.
I'm ready to go home myself.
And before we stop, now I will talk about my shotgun shoot then, okay?
Yes.
This year it's in Ohio. Last year we did it in Indiana. We're in Ohio. It's about 70 miles south of Columbus.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to, you were there last year.
Yes,
of
I
course,
was.
we had a blast. And
Had more fun. Rob killed we had an attack skeet, and that was so funny on the program. He went up and he cornered the skeet and we shot it on the ground.
He was really nervous. It was threatening him, wasn't it?
Yes, it was an attack skeet.
Okay, and then gave a wonderful, it was a rifle shotgun, right? Tell me about it for us. They weren't able to make it, but thank you for that. We have an auction. It really helps out a bunch. It's for,
Another one this year.
thank you. We do it for Wish Upon a Star, and it helps out the children a lot, of course, and their parents. So I appreciate all the help we get, and you guys have been great. It's it's the 17th through the 19th of July.
And where's it going to be?
Well, okay, Rob, south of Columbus, about 70
South of
miles, but we
Columbus.
need the
We need the numbers.
yeah. We'll get that
let
from
me
Rob
edit.
when you talk to him. I'm going to edit here.
We'll
Hey,
do that.
Rob!
Okay, here we go.
Okay, so earlier I didn't know exactly what town to say I was at, but we're going to be about 70 miles south of Columbus.
South Columbus in Lucasville at Anderson's Sporting Clays and Hunting Preserve. Ed Anderson's the owner, and we're excited about working with him. It's going to be a good time.
I know they shoot the state.
They were the host of the Ohio State Sporting Clays shoot in 1997, and we're going to do even bigger and better this year.
Now, friends, we're running a little short on time today, but there's several important things we need to tell you about, certainly including our support group. One of which is we have discovered a gun magazine on the internet. They're called Gun Web. We will be working with them. We'll have their entire interview on next week's shooting show. Some very nice people. This is an exciting development. You can go to their website, www.gunweb.com, on the internet. A tremendous magazine right there on the internet. Now then, some things we've got to tell you in our support group. We have Larry and Karen Meister with Back 40 Sporting Clays there in Bourbon, Indiana. If you'd like information on their hours of operation and pricing, give them a call, area 219-342-4665. And our friends in Alabama with Flying Horse Enterprises, you can visit their website or give them a call for information on their art presentations. You can call them 1-888-340-0664. If you're looking for discount prices on Spyderco or on cold steel knives, give Advantage Outlet a call, 1-800-561-1719. You can call our friends Dennis and Jeannie Ritchie for custom leather work and saddlery, all kinds of leather repairs, all kinds of work done like that. Area 504-667-9225. If you're in South Carolina and you need some firearms instruction, you can call our friend Dennis Crocker. He is at area 864-587-8722. And if you're around East Leroy, Michigan, or you want some super work done on handguns, on revolvers and 1911s, you can call our friend Bruce Warren. He has BC Armory. His telephone number is area 616-729-5508. And friends, you know, if you need custom work done, some of the finest done anywhere in the world is Clark Custom Guns. Remember our Fun Gun Weekend, May 16 and 17. Make your plans now. You can call Clark's, area 318-949-9884. And friends, if you want the absolute Rolls Royce of penetrating lubricant, you can get fluid film from us here on the program. 2 large cans, 11 3/4 ounce cans, for only $19.95. Send to the shooting show, 327 Irvin Roland Road in Dubberly, Louisiana. The zip code is 71024. Tell you what, we're having reorders because nobody can believe how good this stuff is. If you want to protect your guns or anything else, leather, just about anything imaginable, order our fluid film. Trust me, you will not be disappointed. And if you need custom doors, you can call our friends at Urban Wood Products at area 740-926-1575. We'll continue our SHOT Show coverage on future programs. Friends, thanks for being with us. Remember our radio show on the American Freedom Network on Sundays from noon till 2 p.m. on GE1, Channel 7, 5.8 audio. Also our gospel show on Sunday mornings, 10 to 10:30 Eastern Time on G4, Channel 14. We look forward to seeing you on the next program.
We have our pro timer on here, and we'll let it start me, and we'll get, again, 2 shots on each target. See what it looks like.